excellence in sports entertainment.
Pro wrestling talk from the four corners of parts unknown. This is That Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to That Wrestling Podcast. It's Brian. I am back after a week hiatus, and it is time for 1987 WrestleMania VCR trivia. Who wants to go first? No takers? Okay. Well, maybe at the
only
end of the
under.
show, we'll pull that off. Hey, good job carrying the ship while I was out last week, guys. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Joe, that was your funny line. How you doing, buddy? You doing all right?
I'm all right. And it's like we did have a host before you, so we let him take over for last week.
I know you missed me.
Yes, I did.
You missed me. You expressed that to me.
Joe was the one.
You made
I was the one who missed you. Everyone else was fine.
You made it through. You powered through. Kevin, the master of Microsoft Excel, he's here as well. How you doing, buddy?
Yo.
All right, Jason. Again, great job hosting. My hat
now
is off to
also known as the future of hip hop. So
You're gonna drop those 4 bars.
The guest, yeah. How about 4?
yeah, they were good.
Later.
They were good sports about it. I don't know if it'll actually ever happen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to the TWP Extra I did last week with Quincy Jones and Doc Lesnar from the Quincy Jones Show. They're a couple good dudes that I met a few years ago. Got a great podcast. They're pro wrestling commentators and they're also hip hop artists, which out of the 4 of us, you know, I'm into the like 90s hip hop, and it was cool to talk to them. They're about 10 years younger than me. So, you know, stuff I was talking about, well, they knew what it was, and then they were talking about stuff I had no idea who those people were. But yeah, I am the future of hip hop. One other thing that I had said last week on our show, you know, I genuinely like Joe. I know a lot of people think there's some sort of issue. And, you know, we say shit to each other here, and I'm like, okay, it's fun. It's for the show. You know, it's kind of like that. You can't beat up my brother, but I can kind of situation. I have ears everywhere, Joe.
Oh, really?
And you're bad-mouthing me to the public.
What?
At the barbershop.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All that barbershop talk.
All that barbershop talk.
Yeah.
Not
got thrown out the window. A coward jumped through it.
Not only, you know, you shit talking to Brother Brudai, we got an email from Spencer in Knoxville, Tennessee, and the subject is Jason Joe conflict.
Uh-oh.
Let me read it.
Juicy.
Who's
What's
Spencer?
up, boys? Listener from the beginning. Hearing last week's show, it seems that Jason is really aggravated over Joe's dislike for anything to do with Charlotte. While I do think Joe goes overboard, I don't understand why Jason seems to take so much offense to it. Brian has talked about how he hates Orange Cassidy, and I don't remember Jason getting Jason giving that much flack to Brian. Kevin, Joe, and Brian don't seem to hold a grudge over Jason for not liking Matt Cardona, or is it Mid Cardona? Ha ha, not LOL. Ha ha, not LOL. Anyway, keep up the great work on the pod, and maybe I'll run into you guys at SummerSlam. Spencer in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's cool. Thanks, Spencer.
Thanks, Spencer.
Here's the deal. I may not like Matt Cardona, but I respect what he's doing because what he's doing works. You know, he's copying everybody else, and it's all part of the gimmick. Joe will not give any respect, any love to what Charlotte is doing. And the fact is, Joe worked himself into a shoot.
Oh, we're still on this?
That was a theme from last week.
That was just angry at everything Charlotte does. And
not everything.
Joe loves it when she's not.
There are two things that I enjoy. I will be the bigger man here. There are 2 things that she has done in her career that I've generally been interested in. Number one, Psych the movie. I thought she was great in. If anyone ever watched it, I saw it, and I actually was like, wow, she did a great job in that. And number 2,
much like you were the one that missed Brian, you were also the one.
Now I want to watch Psych the movie.
Psych the movie. She played like the hired muscle of the villain. So like she actually did a good job in it. And number 2, when she was on with Stone Cold, the Keeping Up with Austin, whatever the name of that show was, that was on like that interview with her, like she was a real person. She wasn't playing the gimmick. It's the gimmick that bothers me so much. Kind of like Jason, when you do with Matt Cardona, you can't stand like his gimmick, but you respect
what he's doing in the ring. That's the main job. You give no respect to Charlotte for the stuff she's done
because of what she represents, of how like she has ruined the women's division. But we don't need to keep talking about that.
You've worked yourself into a shoot. Let's go to what you're wearing.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
All right. Well, I don't know if we made any headway on Spencer's email. He's probably more confused. But we'll go to the other member of the show who's out of this conflict. Kevin, you can start off. It looks like you are wearing a tank of some sort.
I am.
Or is it a singlet?
It is a singlet.
Kevin is the third Creed brother. I can't believe it.
I love tanks when it gets warm outside. I have a few to choose from, and I was like, you know what? No one's worn the OG Bruise Next.
Beautiful.
So I was like, you know what? Work is tough. I was like, how many beers can I fit inside the 36? And I was like, wait a second, maybe it's 316 milliliters, which comes out to about 12.5 fluid ounces, just as a heads up in the conversion. I love the logo. And I was wanted to rep it tonight. And Jason, where can you pick up your TWP apparel?
Whatamaneuver.net. We have 4 logo shirts up there, including the Bruise Next, which was a short-lived program we tried to do. It's all about pro wrestling related beers, and there aren't really that many. So if you have one, let us know. Maybe we can hook up with a brew house, somebody that can talk about it. It was fun with Reagan Long from local brewing co in San Francisco, the Mr. Perfect beer. They should be actually getting ready to brew it for this year. It might actually be gone by now, but whatamaneuver.net.
I'll have to keep an eye out if the Macho Man Shandy Savage at Baffin comes back. Maybe we can have a second edition of Brews Next.
Oh yeah.
What do you have, Jay? You got a very fun one. It looks like that I've never seen before.
His name is Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs. Prior to his Freddie Mercury haircut and mustache.
Yes.
It was they had it it was a 30% off sale, so I got it for like $15 on WWE Shop. It's a cool shirt. Like I could wear. Like I'm going to see Limp Bizkit on Tuesday.
Oh, hell
I may wear the Rick Boogs shirt at the Limp Bizkit show.
Awesome. Shout out to Rick Boogs. Hopefully he'll be back here not too far down the road. I am wearing cartoon British Bulldog. I saw a couple days ago on the 18th, it was the anniversary of his passing. So a little remembrance, seen a lot of clips on Twitter of the SummerSlam match with Brett. And of course, WWE did their on sale for that big Castle show that they're doing in September. What's that? Is it Conflict at the Castle? You guys know what that's called? That
condoms show? At the castle.
Condoms at the castle. It's all about safety and protection. In any event, so we're thinking about the British Bulldog for this week for my shirt choice. And Joe, I think I understand why you chose this one.
Yeah, I got the cartoon Andre the Giant shirt because this past week would have been Andre's 76th birthday.
That's wild.
So a lot of love for Andre this week, and I was like, no idea what I'm going to wear. And then I saw the Andre one. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's the one.
You think he would be wrestling if he was still alive today?
No one in their 70s should be wrestling, period.
You think he would still be drinking over 75 beers if he was alive?
Yes.
In one
Yes.
sitting.
Yes.
That I think so. Isn't that wild though? Because obviously he was in his career when we were all kids. And I mean, he seems so old then. So to think he'd be 76, it's like, I feel like he'd be 76 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's just like
but when you think about it, like 30 years ago, we were like 12 and he was 46. So
He was
really
our
old.
age now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, fellas, good choices. We got a couple of big news items to talk about this week. The first one we'll discuss happened on Monday with Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out on Raw. So I'll give the quick backstory. On Monday Night Raw, it was announced that a women's six-pack challenge was going to determine who'd be the number one contender for Bianca's title. It was going to be Becky, Asuka, Nikki, Doudrop, Sasha, and Naomi. Then a little bit into the show, Becky does an interview and say that Sasha and Naomi have walked out and that she wants a title shot. Word comes out not too long after, the show's still going on, that yes, this actually happened and that Naomi and Sasha were upset about the storyline. They apparently walked into John Laurinaitis' office, handed over the tag team championships, and walked out of the building. And the reason they walked out, that's been reported, of course, it's always reporting, you never know for sure, but two things. Number one, they felt uncomfortable or unsafe with two of the four other women in the match. And number two, Naomi was going to win and then lose to Bianca at Hell in a Cell. And also possibly Sasha was going to challenge Ronda Rousey at Hell in a Cell and also lose. So then you've got the tag champs both losing solo matches at Hell in a Cell. So where does that leave them? WWE then ends up putting out a statement kind of confirming these things even before the show is over. A very weird situation that I haven't seen that I can remember really in that degree since Austin was supposed to fight Brock Lesnar on Raw and he left and he was gone for months. Guys, let's just first off just get your take on what went down on Monday and just your initial thoughts as these things were happening.
I have a quick question because with me being on the West Coast, sometimes the show I get is different than the show you get.
Okay.
When Becky went to Pierce the first time and it was on, was something else playing over it, like double audio?
Yes.
It was. Okay.
Yes.
So I could not figure out what the hell was going on. And I thought it was just a mistake. And honestly, I was kind of checked out. So I didn't put it all together, until later. It's an interesting situation because, look, if Sasha and Naomi were both going to lose in title matches, that proves that that's why they're the tag team champs, because they work better as a team than solo acts. Okay. 2, it's come out that the other Funky Dactyl thinks that Naomi was influenced by Sasha.
I did see that headline.
I don't buy that.
I don't either.
And then 3, it's a work. What do you think, Kevin?
Brian, you said you don't believe it. I personally do believe that she was influenced by Sasha, just for the fact where nothing against Naomi, nothing against her. I truly haven't been interested watching her and I'd probably honestly say, I don't know, 2 years plus. And the only reason I'm kind of even interested in still fantastic talent, right? I feel that Sasha has, if this is a true real situation, right? If it's a work, I'm falling for it because I want to get worked because I'm all in thinking it's real, right? 100%. And I would love to be proved wrong. I think that Sasha probably didn't want to go over or go, down to, I'm trying to, no, that almost came out bad. Lose to Ronda. Ronda, especially if it's the situation where you feel unsafe, Ronda's not very safe in that ring either. And to be put on a big matchup, I feel that Sasha probably went to Naomi, said, hey, I'm doing this, up to you. And Naomi probably said yes. Very weird situation. Her married to, can never remember if it's Jimmy or Jay.
Right.
One of the Usos totally throws a weird thing into it. I don't necessarily think the Usos, if it comes out to be true, will be, anything happen to them just because the bloodline storyline is the best storyline going. I want to be proved wrong because I talking percentages. I know we throw that in there. I want to say 99%. I want to feel that it is a real thing, especially because WWE said in that statement, we are scripted television.
Isn't that wild?
They acknowledge, you know what I mean? It's so crazy. And I know I just rambled a lot, but Joe, I know they're not Charlotte, right? So you're going to have some positive things to say about these ladies.
Not really.
You had to
Didn't
be
think so.
somewhat blown away by it. Like, are you thinking it's real? Are you do you want it to be real?
Well, here was my first thought when it came out. I felt bad for Nikki and Doudrop.
Yeah.
They showed up and they didn't have anything for them. They couldn't have made it a fatal four-way instead. You knew they weren't going to win, but they could have advanced their storyline. So that was my one thing.
I thought the same.
Those two walking out not only affected the show, the fans who were there in attendance who actually wanted to see those two, but also two other performers. That I was really upset about that. And I'm not the biggest Nikki or Doudrop fan, but they are professionals and they did have a right to work that night. They were promoted as being in the main event of Monday Night Raw, and that got taken away from them because of this moment. That was my first thing I felt bad about.
And that's a big thing to Vince McMahon. Like, if he advertises a main event, he wants to deliver that main event to the point where I know in the past I've been to live events and they make an announcement at the beginning. If you are here to see John Cena, unfortunately, he will not be able to make it. Please report to the ticket window to pick up a refund before the end of the second match. So, like, that's a big thing to Vince, delivering on what's promised, which
that
leads to a bunch
happened.
of those other hostage stories and stuff from the past. But my big takeaway is this. You have a job to do. We all have jobs. And if we don't like what we're told to do, we can walk out, but we ain't coming back. But we have a job to do. So when we do it, when we're told to do something, we do it. Now, everybody thinks Sasha doesn't need WWE. Yeah, you were in 2 episodes of a Star Wars TV show. You definitely still need the WWE.
You are not John Cena. You are not The Rock.
Yeah,
and I remember years ago, too, going to a live event and all over was The Rock won't be here tonight. If you want a refund, please go to the box office, full refund. So, yeah, when it's advertised as a main event all day, then, yeah, that's a problem. So this isn't the first time Sasha has done this. Yeah. She did it after WrestleMania. What was it? WrestleMania 33 when they lost to the Iconics.
Yes. Her and
Bailey walked out.
And Bailey stayed on the roster at the time. Yeah. But
last summer
on for months. Yeah.
And last summer.
Yeah. And that's the thing with what I'm thinking is that with Sasha, I've almost felt like she's like a part-timer in the last year or so. I don't feel like she's on every week. And I see where she's coming from, or they are coming from, because we all agree that the women's tag division is dumb. They don't have tag teams. That they have not done justice with when they created those belts, those titles, and made it like a competitive division. There hasn't been anything. It's been garbage from the start. So I understand that if that's the case, that's their frustration that, yes, we want to have more emphasis. We want to have stories. I get that. I totally also get what you guys are saying that, yeah, you got your job. You're screwing over your coworkers. Your boss is mad at you. But I also understand, like, because I'm the other way than on you, that one, Jay, about, I feel like, yeah, Sasha could go, you want to release me? I'll be all right. I've got Star Wars, you know, whether that becomes something, but I've got that on my resume. I've got Snoop Dogg in my family. Oh, you think AEW wouldn't hire her in a heartbeat?
Sign
And
more
Naomi,
guys. Sign more
Neon
guys.
Dark. Neon
yeah,
Dark.
well, hey, but point is she can have some work. And Naomi being everything with the Usos, like we said, like that's not an easy one to say, oh, hit the bricks, because you're right, Kevin. That's the top story in all of WWE for the last year or so. So this is a really interesting situation. So the follow-up question I have is, if you were Vince, what would you do? What's your move?
I'm just gonna go first. Bye. That would be my
You're
move. Let 'em
releasing
go.
them or just letting them stay?
No,
on
let the
roster?
contract play out. Let them go. Because, like I said prior, a couple weeks ago, if you want to leave, don't say you want to leave. Buy a house. They will release you. But if you want to stay, then go on Twitter and say, I want to be released. So they should have done it the other way around. So I don't see them letting them go, because Vince is also in his 70s, and grumpy old man is not going to say, these kids aren't going to tell me what to do, pal. And then he's going to keep them like he did with Neville for way too long.
Brody Lee was another one that wanted out for a while and kind of just
you know, we also got Ali, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I could totally see that. Kev, go to you.
I'd
You're
say
Vince.
I'd say you're fired, but we're not letting you out of our contracts. That's the thing. I think I don't know. I'm going to go back to it. If it is truly a storyline, I would have rather had it with someone a lot bigger name. I don't know, or at least something cool. Now it is a perfect opportunity to dump the belts. Make it like, even say make a purpose. Have Vince come out and say they didn't respect the belts. Perfect. We're gonna stop, or like just line in the sand. Say no belts anymore. Something like that. I'd say Vince, they're gonna let him sit at home.
Belts are for pants, pal. They're
titles.
realized,
Jimmy or Jay, a little awkward with Naomi quitting. Is Sasha's husband still like the seamstress? So that's
but he's been doing he's been doing a lot of work with. He's been doing a lot of sneaker collaborations. He just did one or two recently for Autism Speaks with Diodora, and they're pretty cool. You know, I'm curious to see what happens to the Uso, if anything. I think Naomi, to me, Naomi not that big of a draw. She's really good, not really a draw. Sasha is the one that you find a way to keep her. And how do you do that? You make her the best version of Sasha that there's ever been. NXT, Sasha's ratchet. No, she's not. That was the best Sasha Banks ever. The boss. I think you keep Sasha however you got to do it. And what's interesting, Jimmy Smith has a MMA combat sports show called Unlocking the Cage on Sirius XM. He was talking about this, and he says, look, I'm not going to kayfabe you, that it was legit, it's real. And they were talking about contracts. And apparently there's only a couple months left allegedly on both of their contracts, which I find that hard to believe. Because if there's only 2 months left, they're just going to ride this shit out and then end up in AEW. But doing this, I don't think it was a 2 or 3 month window. Let Naomi go, sign Sasha, whatever you have to do. She's one of the top 3 women in the world. So
yeah, I don't think it'll be resolved quickly. I certainly think it's going to take a lot of time to let cooler heads prevail, like it has in the past with, like you said, Ali, with Austin back in the day with Brock. But it's something we're going to keep an eye on and monitor for sure. But I tell you what, I had a little brain fart there. I would be fine because, again, I do think this is all legit, but hopefully they come to an agreement. And then I'd love the idea of them coming back and saying, like, this division's a joke, bah, 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 and like you start feuds off with that. Like turn it into a story, right? Just like how with Ali coming back and Miz did all those jabs of everything with him. So
make Naomi and Sasha part of the bloodline.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about that. So the other big story, Ric Flair, age 73, having
pacemaker,
having his having his last match at the Nashville Fairgrounds SummerSlam weekend as part of his son-in-law's StarCast Fan Fest. Now the rumor is it'll be a 6-man tag match with him and FTR versus the Rock and Roll Express and a mystery opponent. It was first rumored to be Ricky Steamboat, but he confirmed that he passed on the offer. How bad of an idea is this?
100%.
I couldn't think of a worse idea.
This is so bad, right?
The Punjabi prison match seems like Taker HBK WrestleMania 25 compared to this idea.
You know, it's interesting that this is happening at Conrad's event. I don't know who runs Jim Crockett Promotions these days, but whoever this promoter is, if it's somebody unrelated or especially if it's Conrad, his son-in-law,
right? It's
pretty fucked up. Like,
isn't that weird?
We're all going to be in Nashville that weekend. I'm actually staying the next. I'm going to be there on Sunday.
Right.
I don't want to go see a dead body. I don't need to see Randy the Ram live.
Yeah,
Ric Flair, one of my all-time favorites. Got a fucking robe right here. Like, I was offended when this stuff happened, when this came out. Because I'm like, this is absurd. This should not be happening. And everyone's like, well, you don't know. You let the guy have his fun. He's gonna die. Is that fun?
No, not fun. Kev?
I'll say this. For nostalgia factor, I'm trying to think how many times I've seen Flair. And I couldn't really pinpoint, like, I can't think of a memorable match I've seen him live. I think it would be kind of like a freak show type thing. Like when you want to see like you used to go to the circus, or they'd have like a sideshow at Ozfest, like the oddity type thing.
Yeah,
I think it would be one of those. I think they rumored the 6-man tag. He would get in it a little bit, not really take that many bumps. At least I really hope not, because he did say before he wants to die in the ring. Maybe you never know what's going to go through somebody's mind in that type of situation. What if he does something like takes medicine to get his heart all crazy and then takes a bad bump? You never know. I think, does he want to do it? Live out his one last match? It's going to be terrible. It's not like it's going to be anything good. Like, I lived that one last match versus Sean. That's the way I like to think of Rick, right? And I know he did the TNA stuff sometimes after, but like, that's what I remember Rick. I wouldn't pay to go see it, but
I'm not going. I'm staying there that day to see friends. I'm not going to StarCast. I'm not going to see this freak show.
Joe, would you order this, or if it was on free TV, would you watch?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just sad. That's all it is. It's like, we've seen so many documentaries on Ric Flair, and I mean, Triple H said it best on I think the ESPN, the E60 one, where Richard Flair and Ric Flair, they don't know each other. Yeah. It's basically like, he can't tell the two apart. And this is like, with Ric Flair does not have wrestling. He doesn't feel like he has anything. So he needs this.
Wild.
And that's sad.
Well, he's getting divorced again.
Exactly. So now he feels like he has nothing. So he's like, he's going to go back into the ring. And I got to agree with you, Jason. Shame on the promoters for doing this. This is like, this is scumbag 101.
Like, there's got to be some athletic commission that has to oversee this in some form or another. And the insurance alone, especially with this type of situation, has to be through the roof. I mean, Bret Hart's doing a live show that weekend. Mick Foley, like the StarCast events are great, but they're not making that kind of money to cover death.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about that with FTR being a part of this. Like,
Of course they're going to do it.
why? Like, wouldn't they have that same conversation in their heads
You
that
would
we're
think,
having now? And go like,
but like they're the ones that want
I don't
Bret
wanna be
Hart
a
to come back
part
and be a part of it.
right,
I mean, they're great. I think Brian, you and I both said in recent weeks we've become bigger FTR fans than we thought we ever would. And look, they're the throwback team, so of course they're going to be involved. And Gerald Briscoe tweeted about how Ricky Steamboat still has class for backing out of it.
He said no, thank you. Yeah.
So I just hope if anybody hears this that knows Ric Flair or Richard Flair personally, try to talk him out of this. It's just,
I think it's too late. I think it's too late.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah, it's just, and that's the thing because, I think Kevin, you said it. You want to remember Flair for the match against Shawn Michaels, which was fantastic, one of my favorite matches of all time. And I can't see Flair going into the ring and not doing the signature spots, the flip over the turnbuckle and run to the other side, the climb up top and then get body pressed off the top rope, the back body drops, all of those, trademark Ric Flair spots.
Face plant, the walk and just face plant.
Yes, yeah,
Flair flop.
exactly.
The
Flair
flop,
flop. Yeah, I can't see him going, I'm coming in here to half-ass it, just do a chop or two and a figure four. And so that's what really worries me is that he's going to do these moves that he was known for, and it may not end in a good situation.
I think it has to do with the fact that the man survived a plane crash at a very young age. So from that moment on, it's always been borrowed time in someone's mind like that. So I think it's just like he feels like he's invincible. 2 years ago, he almost died. The network was had all the in memory of Ric Flair specials going on, the table for threes and everything playing on there. And he kicked out like Flair does.
Yeah.
We move on. This is depressing.
It's tough. It's tough because we all, I know Flair's reputation, especially after the dark side of the ring. You go, there's some stuff on there. There's a nice robe in the background there, Jay. But we want the best for him, right? So it seems like this is a bad move. Hopefully he proves us all wrong. Just one quick thing. This happened probably about 2 hours before we went to record. Stephanie McMahon taking a leave of absence. And I'll read the statement she put out on Twitter. As of tomorrow, I'm taking a leave of absence from the majority of my responsibilities at WWE. WWE is a lifelong legacy for me, and I look forward to returning to the company that I love after taking this time to focus on my family. Jay, what is the percentage that Stephanie McMahon is all elite? No, I'm just kidding. No. But no. Here's my question. Because give it a second, think about it. What do you think Vince said when she told him that she wanted to take a break? What do you think Vince said? The guy who works 20 hours a day at 76 years old. What do you think he said to Stephanie when she said, I want to take a leave of absence?
Who's the father?
Come on.
I don't know. I mean,
time to play the game. Yeah.
Stephanie's been at this since she was like 18 years of well, in official capacity since she was in college because she was an intern. But like, if you look in like the 80s merchandise catalogs, Stephanie's the model.
Yeah,
Shane's the model.
Rocker shirt. Yep.
Yeah,
so and the Andre shirt too.
She's been because Andre the Giant was her best friend. I don't know.
That
if
was
you
her
knew
friend.
That yeah. I just think that this could mean something's really wrong with Triple H. Maybe her and Shane. There's another business aspect. Maybe they want to involve with. That's a reach, but they have daughters, and Stephanie said she would be willing to let them get involved with the family business in the ring. So, I mean, my honest like non-joking, all seriousness, if I could be serious for a moment, Lance Storm situation, I think sums up with Triple H.
Okay. Any of you guys have Vince's reply when Stephanie said, "Dad, I want a leave of absence"?
Why would you want to do that?
Goddamn lazy kids.
This is why I got Nick Khan. No, I think it's a matter of like, you know, family. You got like, she got 3 daughters, 12, 14, and 16. Triple H at home as well.
How old they are, Joe.
Yeah.
You said those ages. Like, yeah, they're one of them's going to be done with high school in like a year or something.
3 daughters, husband at home recovering still. He's putting on a brave face, but it's like maybe she just needs a break. She's like Jason, you said, she's been working there since she was a teenager. And that is not an easy job to do. Imagine if like you were like, go back to your teenage job and then multiply it by like 10 million. And that's the stress that you were on.
All right. Sidebar. Where did you guys work as teenagers? I worked at Burger King and then the Dairy Queen in college.
Tim Hortons.
It's called
AMC Theaters.
The Italian Oven restaurant.
I thought it was like Luigi's.
No, he was the waiter from
That was in
Dingbats,
college.
too.
Yeah, I got to that. Yeah, got the Dingbats. I was 21 though, no longer a teenager for that. Yeah, no, I
Joe, where did you work as a teenager?
AMC Theaters, and that
Movie theater.
the stress of when Space Jam came out. Woo!
Because that was on reel to reel. That wasn't like a click.
Well, I know
Right,
that was my job. I had to like
Digital.
basically do the projector, so I had to put the 6 film reels together, splice them up, tape them up, and put them on the machine and have it run.
Well, the first reel of Space
It
Jam.
wasn't a hard job to do.
Wow. Doc, friend of the show, not Doc Lesnar, Mike Doherty, who filled in for Brian. He used to be a movie theater manager in college. So, and again, that was before click a link and that thing pops up. So he knows those days. But I always wonder, like, I don't know, I you know, from time to time I would think about like reels and movies and stuff. I never knew how it all worked. So it's literally you get 6 reels and just put them all together.
You get 6 reels like 3 days before the movie opens. You put them all together with the trailers, which the studio gives you too. And then employee screening at midnight the night before to make sure it works fine.
Right. Nice. Now, what if it was one of those places that had like 25 screens and 7 different theaters were showing the movie? Did you get 21 reels?
Nope. No, it was it went across like the back walls. So it was like 1 reel still, but it would play. It would be like on a 10-minute delay on the other theater.
Oh wow!
It would take time for it to go around. Yeah, that I had to do. I remember I had to do that for the re-releases of Star Wars because we weren't expecting it to be as popular, so they had to add another theater. So we had to do it for that, and definitely Independence Day. I remember that one too.
Wow.
Actually,
I'm so old. I'm so old just saying all that crap. I'm like feeling old right now.
Dang, and I just threw out Timbits to people.
I love Tim Hortons. It's a must go anytime I'm in Michigan.
I'm sure
it took me a while to like go back to the movies with like the general public because I was always used to seeing it like at a private screen at midnight. Like we did the midnight shows before they were a thing.
Did you fuck anything up in your time there?
Oh yeah, totally. Come on, I was like 17. Of course I did.
We can get into that when we open that movie theater podcast.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
At the movies with Joe. We'll get into those amazing stories.
That's his TWP extra.
Yeah.
No one will listen to it, not even me.
Just one quick note from Raw, because obviously the Sasha Naomi drama kind of took over everything. What did you guys think? I was not a fan of this, but the countdown to Cody.
Yeah.
Countdown to Cody. I get the idea of like, oh, I'd make sure I tune in. But then when I realized there was a match going on, right beforehand, it's like, well, what if this match goes 12 minutes? How would you know Cody's going to be on? Did anybody else get agitated with that? I was like,
here's what's funny.
What are you doing?
3 different people since Monday. That's what they asked me about. Because, you know what, there was a guy I work with, younger guy, and he saw me in the hallway, and it wasn't, hey, what's up? What's going on? He goes, what'd you think of the countdown to Cody? And then, you know, my buddy Doc, same thing on the phone yesterday. What do you think of the countdown? Last week when they did it once, okay, that's cool. Now it's a little corny and it's only a matter of time. I think this is the tool to get fans to boo Cody. This is the beginning.
Okay.
But
it could be.
I'm over it now.
So Kev, I'll go to you because we officially have Cody versus Seth, Hell in a Cell. I know you've loved the 2 prior matches. It's kind of an odd one in that we have Cody who's won 2 times and they're having a trilogy. You don't really see that much, but I mean, you down for it? How you feeling about Cody, Seth, Hell Cell?
This is the thing. I've said I've loved everything out of those guys so far, right? So Cody wins number 1. Cody wins number 2. I think the Hell in a Cell is a perfect match for if it's going to be a trilogy or it keeps going, it still works perfect because the Hell in the Cell, you know, someone could get injured. Somebody can, you know, just get the crap beat out of them. Maybe they go to the top. You know what I mean? Something so crazy can happen. It doesn't matter who truly wins because they're both just going to beat the crap out of each other. I do think Seth is going to win this one. There's no way he can lose 3 in a row. Like, the good thing with him even losing the first 2, his momentum hasn't stopped. Seth is still so damn good. It's because they're made for each other right now. That's the thing. Like, outside of that, I'm like, who do I want Cody to go against next? I'm like, I don't want them to stop. I don't want them to stop because it's just going to elevate both of them. I just think Seth definitely has to win just so he doesn't like get buried, but there's no way that's even going to happen. I love it. I thought the promo from Cody was pretty good. I thought the interaction was fire. I think the countdown is cheesy. And Owen's making fun of it is so
he's doing good on that.
Did you hear him say, Saxon, that's about as stupid as you saying Cody hasn't wrestled in 6 years.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But I love it. And Jay, with you talking to the Quincy Jones podcast, I don't know if it's him and his brother, but he even said like he loves watching Monday Night Raw again because of Cody a lot. So I find myself glued more versus me keeping it in the background, playing on my phone at times, like doing a little work emails. I'm glued when Cody's on TV. They're doing their job.
It's definitely a shot in the arm for Monday Night Raw for sure. Guys, any other strong feelings about this? Hey, we're having a trilogy, but Cody won twice. Hell in a Cell. It's all good.
I think Cody's going to win the Hell in a Cell too. It's reminding me of the Batista Triple H trilogy. Batista won each one clean.
That's a good point.
And it ended at a Hell in a Cell.
I'm hoping this leads to my natural born killers theory that I've wanted for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks with him and Becky Lynch going crazy because they're just losing it.
Seth can lose and he's still going to be in the main event.
Yeah, like Kevin was saying,
he's too good. He's not like someone else who's really good too and who was always put in the main event is Dolph Ziggler. Seth is above that.
Oh yeah,
and Ziggler can still get put into the main event and be credible.
Yeah.
So.
True.
I can see Seth losing. He could lose for the rest of the year every main event pay-per-view and still be in the main event and we would be like, buying it.
Yeah.
Nick Khan on the phone.
Yeah, we're all about that. AEW, so we'll talk more AEW next week because I believe we'll have the Double or Nothing preview. We had a couple of jokers. I was excited because that's, obviously AEW, that's what they're do. They're surprises. The jokers, the male joker, this was for the Owen Hart tournament, was John. What do they call it?
Johnny Elite?
Johnny Elite. Why
I
not
think
Johnny Dynamite?
Would have been better.
Me too.
Whatever.
I am enjoying for GCW Johnny Game Changer. Like he got the name for everybody. And then Maki Ito, and if Orange Cassidy's here for me, Maki Ito is like the female equivalent with me. I don't get it.
Oh, you're
I
such
don't
a hater.
like it. I am a hater. Bring your hate emails to thatwrestlepod@gmail.com. Not a fan, but what did you guys think? I mean, I didn't expect Morrison. By the way, I threw up 2 quick Twitter polls. Getting people's guesses. Who's the Joker for each match? And for the men, I had Gargano, I had Cesaro, Cross, and other. And Cesaro was the overwhelming choice. And then for the women, I had Mickie James, Lana, Tegan Knox, and other. And somebody had a good comment, said Athena. What's her name? Ember. Moon. So I was 0 for 2. The polls were 0 for 2. But your guys' thoughts on the Jokers, Jay?
I thought maybe it could have been Nia Jax. It just got announced that Nia Jax and Lana are working an indie show this weekend, headlined by Braun Strowman and Alistair Overeem.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
But I thought maybe Nia Jax. And for the men, I like that it's a surprise, but say it with me, Joe. Sign more guys.
Technically, he didn't sign.
Is he staying?
I read
though?
I read it earlier today. He didn't sign a contract.
It was just a one-off. Okay.
I think he's going to be like a Matt Cardona, as in like maybe a couple episodes and then goes away.
Could see that.
Well, I mean, Makito, pass, dud.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, she was like said fuck on American Idol Japan. I don't know, but I don't know what her deal is. I was not impressed.
So Friday night we got SmackDown. We have a tag team unification match.
Oh, wait. Last week on SmackDown, Riddle hitting Roman with that knee.
Yeah.
I yelled at my TV. It was so fucking awesome.
I like it.
Now, go ahead. This week's SmackDown.
All good. Yeah, we got RK Bro. We got Usos. We have tag unification. Tell me what happens, guys. Let's throw your predictions on the table.
Lacey Evans comes out. Oh, I mean,
what a swerve.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I think something's going to pop up, and it's just not going to happen. Save it.
Double DQ.
Save it for when's Money in the Bank? June.
Wow.
Yeah.
Save it for that.
Oh no, yeah, Hell in a Cell.
It's July.
Yeah.
It's July.
Right.
It's Money in the Bank's like July 2nd. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so it's a couple weeks before SummerSlam, both in huge venues. That is a match for a big venue. Nothing against SmackDown. It's going to go there. Something shenanigans is going to happen. They're going to tease it. The only bad thing is you can't just keep teasing it because it's going to get stale. Yeah. But the interactions between both of those teams, just like Seth Cody, it works with those guys. Both of those teams work. Riddle keeping his own with Randy, Usos, so much chemistry with them. Like it's fantastic. If it can wait 2 months till SummerSlam, time will tell. But I don't think it's going to happen.
That ain't going to happen.
Jay, you've always been preaching unification, so
I want it to happen. I believe Fox wants it to happen. It'll be interesting though when they remove one of the Usos and put Solo Sakai in. The one removed, of course, is the one married to Naomi. This is Triple H in the curtain call situation all over again. He had to take the blame because Sean wouldn't. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I want it to happen. I really do. I don't even care who wins, but most likely it'll be the Bloodline.
Mm. I think the Usos have great chemistry with whoever they are in the ring with. So I think it's going to be them. I don't think that's going to be stretched out. I think that it's just a matter. I think it's time. We don't need tag champions on both shows. Have them go each one. And Orton and Riddle can stay a team, or they can go solo too and still be like a New Day type team, as in they don't have to be together, because I like to see one of them, if not both of them, in Money in the Bank.
That could be fun. I like that. Yeah, I just don't think it'll happen. I think there'll be some sort of schmoz with Roman, maybe with Drew. and maybe it's going to be held off officially into Hell in a Cell. Maybe they'll do a Hell in a Cell match for the tag team unification.
Ooh.
I love the idea of the unification because I love seeing those guys, whoever it is, Usos or RK Bro, on both shows. So I hope it does happen, but I'm also under the impression that I don't think it's going to happen this Friday night or tonight, whenever you're listening. Right, Kev?
Let me ask this. So you mentioned, okay, so they'll get it for the bloodline with Roman leaving.
Right.
Allegedly.
For like what, 12 weeks?
Allegedly 10.
Allegedly, right? How is that going to play into Naomi, Sasha walking out? Like, remember, we were like last week, I just thought of it. Like, we were like, oh, Roman's just going to go. I've done all I can right now. Like him walking out. Maybe the Usos lose, use it into the storyline of Roman. Like, I got to go.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed by
we
y'all.
got to figure this out. Like,
yeah.
It could go either way. There's storylines.
There's some good angles here.
Both ways of whoever wins that match. And as corny as we always say, like the fans are going to win. Truly, it's that tag team going back and forth has been fantastic.
We're not sponsored by Truly's. We are truly excited for the match. Good job, Kev. Good job, guys. I think we got some great angles here to come. But we all know, like we talked about earlier, we're not excited for Ric Flair in this last match ever sort of thing. So for our 5 count this week, we're going to decide to have a little fun. The topic is top 5 things Ric Flair should do instead of having a last match.
That Wrestling Podcast presents the 5 count.
So I told the boys when I came up with this topic and sent the rundown, think like David Letterman, like the top 10 list. That's kind of the inspiration for coming up with these 5 things Ric Flair should do instead of having a last match. Would anyone like to go first? I'm happy.
I'll go first.
All right,
I'll go first. Number 5. He can work the deli, but then be too tempted to blade, kind of like Randy the Ram. So that probably won't happen. Number 4. Walmart greeter. He's of the age.
Almost had that.
Yeah.
Number 3. He can become the next big wedding officiant in Las Vegas, kind of like Elvis.
Oh,
Get married by Ric Flair? Come on.
Yep.
Number 2. He can become an official, recognized, certified holiday mascot like the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Cupid. I'm not sure which holiday yet. I didn't get that far, but that would be number 2. And number 1, he could be a train conductor, or he could be the train horn.
Nice.
Those are 5 excellent things Ric Flair should be doing instead of wrestling at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I think the press release said the world famous Nashville Fairgrounds.
It's actually
really,
a brand new facility. It's actually a brand new facility.
Oh, man. Who'd
Good,
like
Kevin.
to go next? Kev, you want to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
Number 5, selling fake Rolexes on the street.
Woo!
No, number 4, selling buttons at every restaurant that has to wear Flair.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic Office Space reset. I love it.
3, dating show, VH1 classic style, like New York. 40 old ladies fighting for the chance to date Ric Flair.
Oh,
Wow.
Kevin, you just missed the best punchline.
Yeah, what's it called? What's it?
40 old ladies with the chance to ride Space Mountain. Come on.
Number 2, a reality prank show like Punk'd, but it's called You Got Wooed. And number 1.
Keep it in, Jay. Keep it in.
Number 1, the new spokesman for Werther's Originals.
Oh, that's a Jason favorite, right?
Love
You're
words.
gonna buy the
Top
whole
5
stock.
pick.
I love it. Joe, you want to go next, or
Yeah, sure.
All right.
My number 5, and this I'm just going to read it word for word. Anything. For the love of all that is holy in this world, anything, please. That's my number 5. Number 4, a luxury concierge. So he could be a limousine riding, jet flying, someone you can hire to ride with you in those limos and private jets.
Love it.
Number 3, opens a restaurant. Think Rocky in Rocky Balboa or Creed. Just walks around telling wrestling stories to people trying to eat chicken fingers.
Flair's Firehouse Grill or something.
Kind of like that Flavor Flav chicken place in Detroit.
Yeah. Classic, Jay. Classic.
Number 2, karaoke battles with the Hulkster on Monday night.
The Monday Night Wars are back.
I would like to see Flair like singing and then like Flair flopping during shout. A little bit softer now. Woo! Boom, down. And number 1, a tour guide at Magic Kingdom. Because the final stop would be Space Mountain. Longest line, oldest ride.
That's right.
Woo!
Oh, wow. Excellent work, guys. All right. My number 5, take a nap. Guys, Nate is 30 years older than us. And I'll tell you, I love taking a nap when I can. It's the greatest. So try that out, Rick. And boy, a lot of these ones coming up, you guys were in the same wavelength as me. Number 4, relaunch the VH1 reality show, The Pickup Artist. Does anybody remember The Pickup Artist?
Oh, I do. Brian and I used to talk about that guy all the time.
Nate would teach these losers how to get up chicks at the bar. So
Go make out with the stripper in the limo.
Hit him with the nag.
Yeah. And I looked up on Wikipedia, like, what was that show? And that host name was Mystery.
Wasn't that like his friend, like
Mystery.
Leo the Lion? Or like-
Yeah, he had like his sidekicks or something. That's been a minute since I've seen that. So that's number 4. Number 3, open up a limousine business called Riding with Rick. And I found the script for the first advertisement. It goes, whether you're going to prom, woo! Whether you're going to a bachelorette party, woo! Whether you're getting married, woo! Hell, even if you're getting divorced for the 5th time like me, woo, woo, woo! Go there in style with Riding with Rick limousines.
Little woo, woo.
Yeah, that's number 3. And looks like a companion business is number 2. Open a private jet company called Flying with Flair. You want to fly to Abu Dhabi? Woo! The Maldives? Woo! Even Charlotte, by God, North Carolina. Woo! The only way to travel is with Flying with Flair.
Oh my God.
And Joe, great minds think alike, because my number 1 was go to the Magic Kingdom and ride Space Mountain. So he can actually go for a ride on Space Mountain. Wow, outstanding work, fellas. We hit that one out of the park. And hopefully Ric Flair does not reach his end in the Nashville Fairgrounds.
I hope he took my advice. Anything, please.
That is this week's 5.
Who made your 5 count? Let us know on social media using the hashtag TWP5count.
All right. Great show, fellas. We're going to say goodbye here in just a moment. I'm glad to be back, and thank you again for covering for me in my week absence. I promise I won't be taking an extended leave of absence like Stephanie McMahon. I'm here for the long haul. I can promise you that.
I had a weird moment. Now, we don't normally talk about non-wrestling stuff, but we're all of 40 years old and over. And I was listening to Corey Graves' podcast with the Street Profits. And he was talking about men wearing sports jerseys. The only reason I bring this up, I used to wear jerseys all the time in my 20s. Not too much anymore. I feel like it's kind of ridiculous for a 45-year-old man to wear a jersey of someone 20 years younger than him. So the only jerseys I will wear from time to time, but not very often, are legends or people older than me. I had an opportunity. I had a really good deal. I bought a 1996 LA Lakers Kobe Bryant jersey.
Oh.
And got a really good deal on it. You know, I had some Rakuten cash. You know, I was kind of excited. Now, I don't know if I'm ever going to wear it. Like, I have it. I wanted it. And what are you guys' thoughts on men our age, wearing sports jerseys.
I have a bunch of them too. And I think the only one who's younger than me, and it's not by much, is Calvin Johnson. But mostly all mine are like older, like growing up guys, like Barry Sanders, Iserman, Shanahan, and blank Tiger jerseys. Like no one on the back of those. So,
but do you wear them going to Meijer?
I don't. I don't wear them.
You wear them going out to dinner with your wife.
That's
because no, I don't wear them going anywhere. It's like I don't even really wear them going to games anymore. I used to. But now if I go to a game, I'm just wearing a T-shirt of the team.
Yeah. I was doing some cleaning too, and I have totes and totes of jerseys, mostly Pittsburgh sports teams and Penguins and Steelers and stuff. But Kevin, you're a sports guy. I mean, do you wear jerseys at this point? I mean, you just turned 40 last year, and
I wear my Calvin Johnson Lions jersey every Super Bowl. And
at least someone is.
I always do. And then
I wear my Barry Sanders one every Super Bowl, so it's the only time the Lions are in there.
Truly, I think I don't know the last time I've ever worn a sports jersey not in an event.
Ryan,
I think event is good. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sports bar is good. At home by yourself is good. Watch, yes, I will put on a Steelers jersey to watch the Steelers at my house.
Yeah.
But going to Meijer, like you said, Kev, anything like that. No, it's we're past the point of return, unfortunately, due to our ages.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a weird, I bought it. Then I heard the podcast and I found more in my garage and I'm like, yeah, I can't be the only one realizing at 40 plus should be wearing sports jerseys. One last question. Sports jerseys with your own name on the back. Yay or nay?
No.
Nope.
No.
Unless I'm Brian Cox playing for the Chicago Bears back in the 80s. That ain't gonna fly.
I had for Radio Disney, I had BC on the back. And my
right.
number was 910 for AM 910.
Well, that's different. That's
different. That was a work related one. But I'm not wearing that to the game now. So
I have a Steeler jersey with my name on it. The only reason is because I went to Steelers men's fantasy camp many years ago where I got to play and practice with Steeler greats from the past. So I wouldn't just go buy a jersey and put my name on it, but
I feel like jerseys now are being bought by people our age to frame.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Signed and framed. Like my Chelios jersey is signed and framed.
That's man cave material.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay, you got, UFC posters. It's not a jersey, but same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your memorabilia on the wall.
Right. So, okay. Well, I'm glad we touched on that. And if you are a grown man and you want to buy jerseys, let me know because I got a shit ton. I've got Penguins, Steelers. I have a few I'm not getting rid of, but one, Joe, you might want to get. Remember when many years ago the Red Wings had that alternate jersey where it was like the stripes across where it says Detroit?
I have one.
Okay.
And it's Bob Probert.
That's a good one.
That's like the best. That's the one that it's like if I wear out, I get the most reactions. Kind of like wearing like a wrestling shirt. People are like,
"Yeah,
that's amazing."
Known for his amazing offensive skill, right?
My equivalent. Okay, so
what was yours, Jason?
Well, mine was just one I bought. I got it for like $40. It was like the off season. It was just a sale, and I never put any money in it. The one jersey I have that I'll never get rid of. It's the blue Quebec Nordiques.
That's a good one.
With Ron Tugnut on the back. Tugnut's fun.
Ron Tugnut.
Yeah, those like Quebec Nordiques, Hartford Whaler jerseys. I'll never get rid of those because they're just awesome. So.
Brass Bonanza forever.
Yes.
All right, guys. That's a good way to wrap things up, I think. Everybody enjoy wrestling. Well, gotta get out the plugs, of course. At that WrestlePod for our socials. Don't forget to check out the TWP Extra that Jay dropped this week. Great stuff there. And the Bruised Next tank top. Is that still up, Jay, or
it is.
The other?
Yep.
Okay, so you can still get the Kevin official worn.
It looks like
jersey
a cool
all by your
beer
own.
low. It looks like it's a
Yeah.
logo that was on a beer bottle. I mean,
While supplies last.
If somebody buys a Bruise Necks tank top, I will send them an 8.5, 11 signed autograph by yours truly.
My goodness. All right.
You got headshots already? Fucking egomaniac.
I was about to say.
Fuck.
I was like, if we see you wearing one at SummerSlam, we will buy you a beer.
There you go. Now we're
That's
talking.
4 beers.
That's 7 now you got to buy at the stadium, Joe.
Who's counting? Who's counting? All right, everybody. Enjoy wrestling. Thanks for listening. We will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3. That's it.